Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome in to Clutch People TV. I hope you guys are having an amazing day or night. And yes, I'm live. And you guys know why I'm live. As the Knicks' very first game when it comes to the 2020 the 21 NBA season is this Friday. It's not an official regular season game of the 72-game season. Of course, there's 72 games. They did cut it short. But we do have some preseason games. And our first one is up against the Detroit Pistons, and that is Friday night. Yes, the Friday night Knicks are back. You guys all know that song, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. We're going to be breaking down our thoughts, what the starting lineup's going to be, and all that. So let's get right to the show. All right, so let's get it, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning into a brand new segment, brand new live stream, whatever you like to call it. First off, I do want to address the chat. I saw some people in here as soon as I scheduled it, so shout out to you guys for sure. What's going on, Jake? How you doing? Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm not sure if you're still here, but you're here since 5:38, and I scheduled this for 6:10 at 6:12 now. What's going on, Evan? A big-time subscriber of mine. I really appreciate your support for sure. He said, I think we got this, talking about the Pistons game. We are playing them Friday. Friday night, Knicks are back. You guys know that song? You never know with the Knicks, though. YB Jelly's in the house. He says, what's good? He thinks the Knicks could win this. How are you doing, YB Jelly? We got Julio in the house. How are you, Julio? Thanks so much for being a great supporter as well. We have Edward in the house. Cowboy X Factor says, finally, NBA preseason is here. Yes, it is, Cowboy X Factor. I know you want to keep your mind off of football right now because what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys, they're definitely going to have to win out if they want to go on to go to the playoffs. Will you talk about other games besides New York Knicks? I am first off going to be talking about the Knicks versus Pistons matchup, but then after the segments, we will be doing a Q&A abroad NBA and Knicks, so don't worry. It's not just going to be the Knicks. What's going on, Valix? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm a new subscriber. Well, I appreciate your support. I did see a reaction on Obi Toppin, actually. I did check out your channel. I subbed you up. Interesting combination of, I believe you're a Cowboys fan as well. It's all good. No one's perfect in the world, but thanks so much for being here. How are you? We have Jeffrey. He says, what up? What up, No? I don't know if you met the No or that's like a nickname for me, but how you doing, man? Hope you're doing well, Jeffrey. Yeah, Julio, how are you, man? And we have Jeremy in the house. How are you, Jeremy? Big time Jets fan, Knicks fan as well. But first off, let's just get into it. How are you guys? I hope you guys are doing well. Before we get into the show, how are you guys doing? I don't have school until January because of the whole COVID. It really shut down the school, so I now have virtual until January 11th, I believe. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Are you guys excited for some Knicks basketball? That's what I want to start off with. Hope you guys are doing well. We shortening everything. Yeah, you're good. I'm glad you're doing good, Julio. Yeah, I appreciate your support. Your support is just always amazing. And people like you are the reason I love doing this channel, because I love working hard for this channel for guys like you that you just deserve good content, or at least I try to bring you guys good content. And I just love talking about the Knicks, and it's a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys are football fans. I'm pretty happy we beat the Seahawks, and then football team went on to have a big win against the Steelers, which 2 upsets in the NFC East for sure. But again, thank you so much for being here. So we're going to get into the segments. I hope Jeffrey's well. I hope Jeremy's well. Hope all you guys are doing well. Buckets of Epicness, thanks so much for being here. Hi, how you doing, man? He says, yo, what's up? Thank you so much for being a great supporter as well. I really do appreciate your support. I noticed you in my comment section. I noticed Jeremy. I noticed Julio. I noticed everyone. So your support definitely never goes unrecognized, man. You like weird teams. Hopefully the Yankees win. We'll see what happens with the Yankees for sure. But yeah, shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are just absolutely amazing. King Jaw's in the house. How you doing, King Jaw? Hope you're doing well. King Jaw is that 1985. I believe I've seen you in my chat before. I've seen you comment on a video, but I hope you're doing well. Just the beginning of the show, I'm just seeing how you guys are doing before we get into the segments. I'm going to be getting into the matchup versus the Detroit Pistons, and then you're going to get to ask me questions. If it's broad NBA, New York Knicks, my thoughts on stuff going on in the NBA world. YB Jelly says, Frank will be a decent point guard if he plays the position properly. Yeah, I agree. Definitely needs to brush up on stuff. Sometimes he could pick up the ball too early, doesn't consistently put pressure on the defense playmaking. We need a decisive, confident point guard. Yes, I am a Yankees fan. What's going on, Jazzy? Thanks so much for being here, Jazzy. Anthony says, Clutch, do you think eventually the NBA is going to do with the NFL schedule in the future? Eliminate the preseason altogether? I don't think so. I don't, because it's a way different sport when it comes to conditioning and everything like that. Like, when NBA injuries happen, they're like freakish injuries, but injuries are more. It's easier to happen in the NFL world because it's more contact. How you doing, Michael? I hope you're doing well. Michael. But yeah, we're gonna be getting in to the first segment, and we're gonna be talking about what will the starting lineup look like. And before I get into my thoughts, I also want to hear your thoughts in the chat. Why you keep on calling Frank a point guard? Well, because most of his career he has run the point guard, but yes, people like to say he's more of an off guard. But yeah, what will the starting lineup look like? I know a lot of people have different preferences. If that's Elfrid Payton at the one, Dennis Smith Jr. Of course, Elfrid Payton, like, yes, he cannot shoot to save his life. A lot of people don't like how he can't shoot at all. But out of all the point guards, he's the most consistent. He gives you the most consistent style of play. If it's consistently penetrating, setting his teammates up, if it's getting to the rack and finishing, yes, he gets a cherry stripe. He can't finish, but he also provides defense, and he gives you something every night. Frank, yes, one game he may be solid, but then the next game is just absolutely silent. You don't know what you're getting with Frank. Dennis Smith Jr., if it's his defensive woes is just horrendous shooting. We don't have a true point guard on this team whatsoever. Some people think Frank's more of a two. Some people think he's more of a point guard for sure. Frank, I don't know if he's ever going to be this great player. He probably is just going to be a solid backup in his NBA career if that's at the one or the two. Yes, he's a good defensive player. His offense game isn't there, though. He picks up the ball too early. His ball handling ability is not that great. He's not that decisive, which could lead to turnovers. Not the greatest at finishing at the rack. His jump shot's not consistent. There's a lot Frank needs to clean up if he wants to be a quality starting point guard in the NBA for sure. And confidence is definitely a key thing, and consistency. You don't know what he's going to bring every single night, but yes, he could be an amazing role player, as MH said. Thanks so much for tuning in. Nathaniel says he's a flex player. He's an Iggy Draymond. I get the Halliburton for sure. I think Halliburton's a better shooter, though. It's just really interesting with Frank Ntilikina because he doesn't have a main role. He doesn't have one thing he's great at besides defense, because we need something he can provide on offense. Like, Halliburton's a shooter. Frank wasn't known as this great shooter coming out of this draft. But yes, you could say he's a solid playmaker, but I think Halliburton's better. We don't know if Alec Burks is going to start. RJ, Kevin Knox, I don't think will start. The Obi Toppin, Julius Randle discussion has definitely been a big thing when it comes to starting. Will Obi Toppin start at the three? I don't think Obi Toppin's good enough on the defense side of the basketball to really play good enough defense to play the three. Yes, he played point guard in high school. He's solid ball handling ability, and I think he's more than just this guy down low on the block in an athletic freaking nature, because he played more down the block at Dayton. That was definitely his role. But do I think he can bring more to the table? Obi Toppin, yes, I do. But he guarded too high on pick and rolls. Yes, he can improve. Everyone's talking about, though, Tom Thibodeau. They're just assuming he's going to play better. Obi Toppin's going to play better defense because he has Tom Thibodeau. But Coughlin Townsend to play better defense. Andrew Wiggins didn't. But it all comes down to Obi Toppin if he's willing to listen. But yes, he is kind of flat-footed on that side of the basketball, and he kind of had some Kevin Knox deficiencies when it comes to defense as well. But I do think he's solid at guarding the rim, and Kevin Knox did get better in that department. But it's going to be really interesting what goes on to happen with the starting five and what it's going to look like. Are we going to play hard? What style of play are we bringing? But we'll get into that later in the show. But I wanted to share something I thought was very interesting on ESPN. If you do go on to look at their depth chart. So if you take a look at their depth chart here of the New York Knicks, I'm going to share it on the screen real quick on my laptop. This is what they have here. This is what they have. They have Elfrid Payton at the point guard position. Yes, we don't want to hear that. There's some big-time Frank fans. There's some big-time Dennis Smith Jr. fans. Dennis Smith Jr. is the most talented, but talent does not matter if you don't have it mentally up here and you're not in love with the game. There's some question marks about, is Dennis Smith Jr. really locked in? Does he really want to be great? Sometimes his confidence goes down low when he's not playing the greatest. And does his brand of basketball equal winning basketball? Elfrid Payton, I do think he brings the most consistent style of play. It's not the sexiest style of play shooting the basketball, but he does the fundamental things. He's more of a traditional point guard that's going to bring something every single night. RJ Barrett, we do agree he is going to start. It depends what position, if it's the two or the three, if Alec Burks is going to start there. But I thought this was interesting. ESPN on the depth chart, they had Obi Toppin at the 3. I made a video on this if Obi Toppin and Julius Randle can play together. And I think they can because Obi Toppin's not as ball dominant as a Julius Randle. Do I want them to play together? No, I do not whatsoever. I want Obi Toppin to get a big time opportunity, but he's not a guy that's going to ISO in Julius Randle situations. But we're going to get into Julius Randle's role later and how it's going to perform in the game and that type of thing. But having a guy like Obi Toppin, he can show potential of stretching the floor, but it was only on 2.6 attempts per game in college, only attempted like 33s. But yes, he can shoot the basketball. He's solid ball handling ability, but is it on a string? No, I don't think it's the greatest, and he's not the greatest defensively and fast enough to guard threes in the NBA. If he couldn't guard collegiate 4 or 5s, how is he going to guard guys in the NBA for sure? And then they had Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson. A lot of people are not happy whatsoever seeing Julius Randle out there. Mitchell Robinson. I think there's only one sole position or player starting, and I do think that is R.J. Barrett at the end of the day. Mitchell Robinson, yes, he may start, but just don't be surprised if Nerlens Noel starts because Mitchell Robinson has a lot of potential. He can guard the perimeter. He can block shots. But if he can't consistently stay out of foul trouble, he's not a starter in the NBA. As simple as that sounds, staying out of foul trouble, it's not simple for him. And Nerlens Noel has a more mature style of play. Yes, he may not be able to guard the perimeter, but he's athletic, good at rolling to the basket, and also blocking shots, and has a mature style of play. That's why a lot of people are scared Mitch might not be a part of the future. Appreciate that, MH. I really do. Don't worry, I will be getting to the chat, y'all. But then they have Frank as a backup point guard, Alec Burks, and Frank Ntilikina. His agency and everyone like that was really mad when the Knicks were trying to play him out of place at point guard because they really do believe he's a point guard. He was taken to be the point guard for the New York Knicks to run the triangle, but then everyone moved on. But they have Kevin Knox part of the third string team, which is really interesting. I think that's interesting. They haven't playing the three of the 4 there. But backups they've had Burks, Reggie Bullock, Obi Toppin, Nerlens Noel. But if you start Obi Toppin, I think they should. We drafted him 8th overall. He's 22 years old. He's going to be 23 in March. He's supposed to be this instant impact guy. But let me know down below in the chat, who do you think the Knicks will start and who do you want the Knicks to start? But I want to get into some of these comments real quick. I do not want to ignore your comments. I'm not trying to ignore them whatsoever. I'm just trying to talk about what is going on. I missed 29 of them. But what's going on, Sports Critic? I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for being here. 2 Kevin Knoxes, the 3 of the 4. They don't know where to put him. What is your ceiling and floor for RJ? Some people compare RJ to DeMar DeRozan. Some people are really high on him. He might have the high mentality of a Jimmy Butler, but I think Jimmy Butler is a very rare breed for sure, and RJ is not as good on the defense side of the basketball, and he definitely needs to clean some things up, especially his handle. But I do think RJ could be a very good player due to his this bulldog mentality and how much of a hard worker he is. But it all comes down to the Knicks organization surrounding him with the right pieces. You need shooters around RJ Barrett. You can't have RJ Barrett shooting 32% from downtown and him being the best starter in your lineup shooting from downtown. Of an Elfrid Payton, having a Mo Harkless that shot 26% from 3 as a Knick, having a Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson out there on the floor. You definitely need the right pieces around him to be successful, and you need that kind of clean style of play for sure. For sure, no handle Randle. I think Knox has an upside Knicks can't tap into. Yeah, it all comes down to being patient, and Tom Thibodeau preached about that, and it's really thinking and confidence with Kevin Knox for sure and maturing his game. I think judging by Randall's body language, yes, I did see that interview. He did not look happy whatsoever. Frank is a glue guy. What's going on, Alexis? Thanks so much for being here. You're a great supporter. Appreciate you for sure. Don't worry, I will get to your comments. Yo, Noah, you have a cool name. Randall and Obi won't be on the floor. I hope not. I made a video, though, because you never know, but I really hope they're not on the floor at the same time. But, yeah, the thing is, though, Obi's not very ball dominant, and Tom might be able to see that he can shoot the basketball, but I don't think Tom's that dumb. Be like, this guy couldn't even guard collegiate 4s. What makes you think he's going to be able to guard 3s? And that type of thing. But Julius Randle, no, I do not want him starting for the New York Knicks, but I would get it in a way. He's going to put the best product out there on the court that has potential to win basketball games. But will this team be good? No, I do not think this team will be good whatsoever. But yeah, let me know down in the chat. Who do you think will end up starting for the Knicks? How are you doing? I'm so excited for the season. I miss basketball and I miss the Knicks. Yeah, the Knicks have been bad for such a long time, but just Knicks fans are so loyal towards the Knicks, of course, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they could do this season. It's not going to be the greatest this season, but we'll see what happens. All right, next up, we're going to be talking about our rookies. How will our rookies look? Obi Toppin and Emmanuel quickly. I did not mention Miles Powell here because we don't know if he's going to get any action specifically in this basketball game or in the preseason, maybe towards the end. But yes, he is going to be with the G League team of the Westchester Knicks, and there is going to be a bubble. There's not going to be all like 30 G League teams. I believe it's like the Atlanta bubble. The Knicks are in it. There's not a lot of teams that are in that bubble for sure, but when you look at Miles Powell from Seton Hall, he grew up in Trenton, New Jersey, which is like an hour from me. And I know some people that go to my school that are from Trenton. He's a bulldog. He is clutch in big moments. He hit some big shots against Villanova, Kentucky. He has unlimited range. He may not have the physical profile, but he is a dog getting to the basket. May have struggles on the defense side of the basketball, but he really plays his ass off on that side of the ball. A lot of people are talking about him being the point guard of the future. Pump the brakes right there. He was undrafted for a reason. If it's the efficiency woes. But yes, he did not play the full sample size due to the COVID, so the season was cut short. But he's definitely a difficult shot maker. That is a bulldog. But I did not mention him because most likely he is going to be in the G League for sure of the Westchester Knicks. But if you take a look at the rookies, are they going to be starting? Emmanuel quickly, I do not think is going to be a starter in the NBA for us. Hopefully he can. Like maybe that's a nice role for him, but he is a 6'3" type of, he's a point guard listed as a point guard, but I think he's more of an off the ball type of guy. And we all know he shot 92% from the charity stripe, which is just absolutely amazing, and 43% from downtown. We picked him with the 25th pick in the 2020 NBA draft. Of course, coming out of Kentucky, he had a struggling freshman year. Some people were doubting his playmaking ability, only averaged 1.8 assists, but he was taken as probably this role guy coming off the bench. And this team needs desperate shooting. We saw RJ, how he did not have the greatest of performances because when he did kick it out, had a nice pass, no one would knock down the consistent outside shot for sure. But he also brings good defense. Needs to get better coming off of screens and knocking down some shots at times. But I definitely do think he's a mentally tough player and he's going to put in the work. But will he play in this game? I do not think he's going to get a lot of action. Because you know about Tom Thibodeau's starters. He plays the starters like 30 minutes and then like he has a 9-man rotation. Then the other guys play like 9 to 10 minutes or like 10 to 15. But do I think he's going to get a lot of action in this game? No. If he does get a lot of action, I'll be excited because I haven't seen a great shooter in a long time for the New York Knicks. Steve Novak, Porzingis is a good shooter. But at least consistent shooters on the New York Knicks we definitely need. And quickly, it's going to be interesting to see what he brings to the game. Now, Obi Toppin, we drafted with the 8th overall pick coming out of Dayton. You could say he was the best player out of college basketball. He's 22 years old. He's going to be 23 in March. And, of course, he's known as this athletic freak. He averaged like 7 rebounds, shot nearly 40% from downtown, shot all right from the free throw line. You don't really expect power forwards to shoot like 80%, but he shot 72%, which is a passing number, especially for someone that plays his position like that, for sure. But he's a guy that definitely struggles on defense, plays too high on pick and rolls. But this team, I really expect to go out there and play fast and get Obi Toppin easy buckets because that's his style of play. You give him easy buckets. He's not a guy, you give him the ball in the half-court setting and he creates, even though that is an underrated aspect of his game. Because at Dayton, they played him on the block a lot. In high school, he did play the point guard position, and he is more than that. And if you take a look where his trainer did say he is a shooter that just happens to be able to dunk, he wasn't able to dunk until his senior year of high school, so he's definitely a late bloomer, but he does bring more to the table, and I'm expecting like maybe a 12 to 13 point performance by Obi Toppin, but it all comes down to if he starts and what role is he going to start in the 3 or the 4, but it really comes down to getting him to the flow of the offense and getting out and running for sure. What's going on, Sober? Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're doing great. Shout out to you guys in the chat. Who do you think will be the best player from this past draft, 2020 NBA draft? It's really interesting because I don't think it's going to be LaMelo or Anthony Edwards. I think it's going to be one of those deep gems for sure. I think Tyrell Terry's going to have a nice role. I think Sadiq Bey might have a nice role with the Detroit Pistons. Anthony Edwards has a lot of flaws in his game for sure. LaMelo Ball, of course, the upside wise of him. But I think Patrick Williams, a lot of people hated on that pick. But if the season continued and if it wasn't for COVID, I don't think it would have been a surprise. He would have been picked that high. I do like Killian Hayes. I thought he was one of the most underrated players in the draft. I think Obi Toppin will be the immediate impact player. May not have the highest of upside, but will make an impact right away. But that's a really good question, man. Let me know, guys. Who do you think will be the best player coming out of this past draft? Nathaniel says, my starting 5 is DSJ, RJ, Frank, Obi, and Mitchell Robinson. Okay. I wouldn't mind that little youth movement. We'll see if but you have Frank at the 3. That's very interesting. I know he's the capability of playing defense. Could Obi Toppin win Rookie of the Year? I know he's definitely one of the top odds because he's that instant impact right away basketball player. It all comes down to if he starts. My prediction for Obi is he will average 15 on nice efficiency and will second in the rookie of the year race. I'm okay with that. Do you think the Knicks are a playoff team? No, I do not. I do not think they're a playoff team. I have you guys and like the Hawks maybe getting that 8th seed. You guys might get that 7th, and the Hawks might get that 8th. I think YB Jelly is a Bucks fan or a Raptors fan. Yeah. Can't wait for December 23rd. Yeah, that's the first game, I believe. Yes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys being in this chat. I want to get to some comments like I wasn't able to get to because I was rambling a lot. Click that like for our boy. Thank you. I appreciate that, MH. I think judging, yeah. Jazzy says no need for tank. We suck anyway. Yeah, let's be real. We suck. We never tank. We're just bad. That's just the Knicks. You will never see Frank's potential until you put him with positionless players like Golden State or Miami. I agree. Give him to a team that plays out his strengths, but hopefully we change that narrative and we play throughout our players' strengths. Yeah, I agree. We're gonna put the most talented roster out there, starting lineup out there, and see what happens. Yeah, Frank is a glue guy. I agree, Maddox. I think Tibbs will do DSJ. Burke, Nerlens, maybe. We'll see what happens. It's really going to be interesting. That's going to be an interesting game, Amir. I think that's going to be very interesting. You think it's going to be Markelle Fultz or Cole Anthony starting? I think Cole Anthony has a lot of potential. Did I want him at 8? No, but I wouldn't have minded him at 8 because he's a tough shot maker and has a really good NBA-ready handle. And his dad, of course, played in the NBA. Tank for Zion. Tank for Zion. You almost had 2K. Yeah, it's because of you guys. Thank you so much for the great amount of support. He locked down Kemba Walker because that coaching staff probably played him without his strengths and believed in him. But he did play more of an off-guard type of 2 role, so maybe we do need to give that to Frank, for sure. All right, let me exit out of the stop sharing. Okay. I'm controlling this on my laptop. All right, so we're going to be getting to the starting lineup matchups now because we are taking on the Detroit Pistons, and they're an interesting basketball team, of course. They did go on to draft Killian Hayes from France. I'm a big fan of. He's a nice Euro step, and his arsenal has a nice step back. He definitely has a smooth style play. He's not crazy athletic, but he's so smart at his age, coming out at 18 or 19 years old. Like off balance, he makes some passes that are so extremely accurate, hits him right in the chest. He's really good at using his bounce passes in certain situations, getting the defense to collapse and kick out. His shot is better, in my opinion, than what the percentages did show, but he's good on the defense side of the basketball, and don't be surprised if he's the best point guard out of this draft going to the Detroit Pistons. They did end up getting Miles Plumlee or Mason Plumlee in free agency for like $23 million. They let Christian Wood walk, but I do not think Christian Wood wanted to be a part of the Detroit Pistons, and we didn't know with him. He had like a 10-game sample size, ended up going to the Rockets. They moved on from Luke Kennard, ended up getting some draft capital, and they ended up getting I believe that pick resulted in Isaiah Stewart and some draft capital, and they also got Disnan Musa, or Stewart actually might have been a part of a different deal. You end up getting Sadiq Bey. I thought that was good. That was good value for sure. He's a good shooter coming out of Villanova, good 3-and-D guy. Isaiah Stewart's more of a traditional center. You have Derrick Rose, Blake Griffin, still some bad contracts, so you don't know what direction they're moving in. You don't know who they're going to start. But I am going to share my screen. Let me get into the comments real quick. Yeah, I think Fultz will start. I'm right there with you, man. But RJ at the 1, just in case Frank gets injured. RJ at the 1 hasn't been bad. Does he need to improve his handle? Yes, but he is a solid passer of the basketball. I think Knox will be a starter at some point this season. Tibbs worked with him. I think he really wants Knox to succeed. We all do. He's just really frustrating. But I think we bought into the hype too fast. We all knew he was going to be this project with a high offensive upside coming out of the draft with Kentucky, but we just weren't patient with him. We just expected that he'd do great things because he put up 31 points against the Sixers ball down in the summer league, when that just wasn't the truth. We were too fast, and we were not patient with Kevin Knox. And this is kind of when he should have been in the NBA, but does he need to get better defensively? Yes. What's going on, Jeff? Thanks so much for being here, Jeff. Buddy Hield? Yeah, I wouldn't mind that whatsoever. I would not. Great shooter of the basketball. Would take pressure off RJ shooting the ball. But he does bring a personality, and I'm kind of scared of that. Not the greatest personality. Like, he's never satisfied and happy. I think Burks is in our lineup. See, I wouldn't mind that because we need shooting in that lineup. And he shot 40% from 3, and he was nice with the Sixers and Warriors last year. Do you think Raptors never lost? Why do you think Raptors would win back-to-back? That's a very tough question. It's hard to compete up against LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but that Raptors team was still very impressive with Nick Nurse and those other guys. She just puts those players in the best position to be successful. And maybe I think they might have been back in the finals or Eastern Conference Finals. Will I be calling Knicks games? Potentially, yes, potentially. Who's my preferred starting five? That's a really tough question, man. We all know Dennis Smith Jr. has the highest upside when it comes to the point guard position. But what I think will actually happen, but you said preferred. My preferred is, see, it's really interesting because you could look at Frank as a one or a two. There's no true point guard, so you can't really go wrong when it comes to the point guard position. You know what Elfrid Payne's going to bring. You don't know what Frank's going to bring every single night. He shows just inconsistency. Dennis Smith Jr. is inconsistency defensively. At least he's fun to watch, but his shooting is horrid. We'll see what happens if it really improved from the offseason or we're going to be clickbaited in like last year. But I'm going to go with Frank Ntilikina. I'm going to go with Alec Burks. I'm going to go with RJ, Obi Toppin, and Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, I heard he's like has this personality that not a lot of people like, and he's never satisfied, and I don't like that. But if you look at the starting lineup of the matchups, of course, we just discussed the Knicks. What it can potentially be, we have literally no idea. That's always a scary thing when you don't know what your lineup is going to be entering the season. And that type of thing, usually you want that as a lock. If you don't know who your true point guard is, that's definitely a scary sight. That lineup sounds good. Buyer lineup, appreciate that. That might be a video. It's a good video idea. I might do that video idea. But yeah, we talked about the Knicks starting, but if we get into the matchup now, I'm going to share my screen for the Detroit Pistons. It might be Derrick Rose. It might be Killian Hayes starting. We don't know. Of course, there was news of Anthony Davis and LeBron. They're not going to be playing. So will the veterans be playing? Will Blake Griffin be playing? That's a very good question. Of course, we don't really care if we win this game, but I want to win. But it all comes down to seeing the youth movement and how these young players play for sure. We want to see improvement throughout these games. But getting into the Detroit Pistons depth chart, what they have here, they actually do have Killian Hayes starting at the point guard position, and they do have Derrick Rose as the backup. As much as I love Derrick Rose, he's not their starter of the future. Doesn't fit the timeline. He's just not the point guard of the future. Even though I do respect he's been better shooting the basketball and that type of thing. But they do have Killian Hayes. He's definitely a guy. He's not the greatest when it comes to his right hand, but he has nice dexterity around the rim. He's definitely crafty, not the most athletic, but he's a difficult shot maker. That's what you're getting with Killian Hayes, and you're getting a guy that's good at slowing down the game, and he's also good at going out and running as well. He's good at all different styles of offense. If it's playing fast, if it's slowing it down, he just has really good pace and control of the game. You have DeLone Wright. He's whatever. He's just all right. You could say a solid player. They did give $61 million to Jeremy Grant. You could say Jeremy Grant had a good season with the Nuggets, but there's only certain teams that he fits, in my opinion. He's more of the off-the-ball, hard-nosed, good at cutting without the ball for sure, plays hard defense. He's one of those guys that does the little things out there on the basketball court, and I don't know if you pay $61 million to a guy like that, and apparently he wanted to go there because he wanted that number one type of role, and I don't know if that was a smart signing. If you're bringing in Killian Hayes, bringing in Suku Demboya, and giving someone like this a lot of money, it's going to take touches away. In my opinion, you just bring and trade that pick. If you're you don't know, are they winning now or building towards the future? I don't know. That was an interesting signing. And then you have Blake Griffin and Mason Plumlee, of course, they acquired in free agency. But it really depends who starts at the point guard position. If it's Elfrid Payne, I think he's going to play good defense on Killian Hayes, and he's going to be able to muscle him down low. He's not the greatest at stretching the floor. Then you take a look at shooting guard, Alec Burks or RJ, whoever plays at that shooting guard position, I think will definitely hold their own. I'm not saying Alec Burks is going to start above RJ Barrett. I'm just saying we don't know if RJ is going to play the 3 and Alec Burks might play the 2, or even Kevin Knox. We don't know. I don't think Kevin Knox is going to start, though. Then Jeremy Grant, I actually think that's going to be a tough assignment due to his defense, and just he does the little things out there on the court. He's really good at moving without the ball. He's trying to get better off the dribble, but again, I don't know if he gives $61 million to a guy that's not great off the dribble and creating for his own. Blake Griffin's going to be an interesting matchup if he starts in this game. If he plays in this game, I want Obi to start because I'm really interested to see if Obi Toppin could play good defense on Blake Griffin because he's really matured his game. So whoever plays at the power forward position is going to be interesting to see how they play defense on Blake Griffin because he was having a career year. He was shooting better from downtown. He's not the athletic freak he used to be, but he actually matured his game and stretched it to the outside to fit today's modern NBA. And I want Obi to start at the 4 because I really want to see what he could do on a guy like a Blake Griffin. And then Mason Plumlee. We know Mitchell Robinson's a shot blocking machine. We know Nerlens Noel's as well. He blocked Nerlens Noel is as well. Blocked Kristaps Porzingis. He definitely has length and athletic ability. He's not the greatest at guarding the perimeter like a Mitchell Robinson, but for sure, I think it's going to be an interesting key matchup. These teams are both young, but they still have Blake Griffin and Derrick Rose, and it's going to be interesting how they move forward as a basketball team for sure. But thank you guys so much for being here. Let me know down below. How do you think these are in the chat? How do you think the lineup matchups will be? If it's Frank guarding Killian, some French on French action. If it's Alfred Payton, Dennis Smith Jr. Dennis Smith Jr., not going to lie, scares me defensively, especially up against a guy like Killian Hayes that can rise above defenders and knock down shots. Again, I think he's a better shooter than some people think. He's good at coming off the screens, getting to the basket. His dexterity, at least off finishing at the basket, his handle needs to get better when it comes to his right hand. But his passing ability, I think that guy, like a guy like Killian Hayes, is definitely going to scare off the Dennis Smith Jr. defensively. But DeLone Wright, I think, will take care of business. If he starts, Jeremy Grant will be interesting. If you get him in that situation, if he has to put the ball on the deck, I think we're going to be good in that situation. I really want Obi Toppin. To start because that matchup against Blake Griffin, if Blake Griffin starts, is going to be just so key. Or if it's Suku Demboya, a guy that may be a part of the feature from France as well, a little French connection of Killian Hayes and Suku Demboya with his length, his athleticism. I think he's a very interesting prospect. I didn't like the way they used him though in spot-up situations. I think they should have used him cutting to the basket more. But it's gonna be an interesting matchup, y'all. Let me know down in the chat, like, how do you think these matchups are gonna be between the New York Knicks and the Detroit Pistons? I'm really interested to see what's gonna happen. I honestly believe if DSJ didn't have bounce, he wouldn't. I think he would still be. That's a good question though, because like, yes, I think athleticism is overrated. I think it all comes down to basketball IQ, having moves in your arsenal, being a smart player. But yes, sometimes players are taken due to their athleticism. Matisse Thybulle, you could maybe say. Who's a good defensive player that was just drafted? Tyler Bay. He's a good defensive player, but he's also a fantastic athlete. And athleticism doesn't always translate to being great NBA players. Do you have the shot? Do you have all these moves in your arsenal to create separation, you know? But yeah, that's a really good point, Jeff. Really good point. John Wall will get injured if he stays healthy, then he'll be dominating right now. I love John Wall. John Wall is one of my favorite players. I love seeing that team go to the playoffs. He had some clutch shots. I'll never forget when he went on top of the scoreboard. But I really do like John Wall. I think Killian will struggle against Frank, but Frank won't give you anything offensively. Exactly. Consistently putting pressure on the defense, and Killian's not a slouch defensively. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's a good defender, but he's definitely not a slouch in my opinion. But we don't know who's going to start. What's going on, Bruce? How are you doing, Bruce? I hope you're doing well. Shout out to the 73 people in the chat. We have 73 people in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you again for just being great supporters and tuning in to like every live stream, every video. Like, you guys are absolutely amazing. And I might put a community tab thing up after the stream. If you have any video suggestions, let me know. It's really tough when I'm constantly making videos like crazy, and then I may run out of video ideas. But I decided to do this. I was gonna make a video on this, but I thought it would be even cooler to hear your guys' thoughts if I did a live stream. Grant made a Trevor Ariza type of move, like where we went from the Lakers to Houston for a bigger role. Yeah, man. Carmelo Anthony, we'll see what happens with his role. Randle for a bag of skills trade. I love when fans play scout. I honestly believe Knicks would do a lot better than what people expect. I just hope with these back-to-back games, no one get. Yeah, man, it's a lot of games for sure. Realistically, who could have a breakout year? See, like, there's always surprises that catch you off guard. Wait, let me get into this. Miguel says 105, 100 Pistons. Okay. You're good. I'm glad you're doing good. 108, 96 Knicks. Okay. We'll see what happens. Oh wait, I thought you said Pistons were gonna win. Okay. Realistic, who could have breakout year? This is such an interesting question. Like, a lot of people might say Mitch. A lot of people may say Frank, because Tom Thibodeau is this defensive-minded guy. I really do think he likes Frank, but his offense really scares him of picking up the ball too early as soon as he crosses half court. Not being decisive, just not having the confidence, not having the consistent jump shot. Like, Frank Ntilikina is definitely a very scary player offensively, not finishing the greatest at the basket. He's good in the pick and roll, but I think he's a quality backup in this league, and that's really scary if he's not the clear-cut point guard for the New York Knicks to start, and he was taken 8th overall. But Dennis Smith Jr. definitely has a higher upside. Shot scares me, though. I don't care about all the work he's putting in the offseason if it doesn't produce on the court. Same thing happened last year. But I think Elfrid Payton definitely is going to make the impact, like on a consistent basis. Not the greatest shooter, but you know what he's going to bring. But who will make that impact? Who will break out? I'm going to say Mitchell Robinson, because I think Mitchell Robinson, for sure, I think he may not be a part of the future. He can be. I think he will be a part of the future, but there's a shot he may not be, because he has a contract year coming up. I believe he signed with Clutch Sports, but didn't he just have, like, not divorce? I remember I saw that article. He moved on from his agent. But it really comes down to maturing his game. Could he add a mid-range shot to his arsenal? I'm not expecting him to shoot 3 balls. He's saying all that. But Mitchell Robinson, he's an athletic freak and guard the perimeter. But sometimes him trying to block everything is a curse, because it gets him in foul trouble. I'm sorry, you're not going to be a starter in this league if you commit 2 fouls in 1 minute. Like, it's really rare when he does have great games, because you know when he's going to have a good game or not. If he has 2 fouls in 2 minutes, not going to have a great game. Comes off the bench, loses momentum. If he doesn't commit 2 fouls in, like, early stages of the game, he's going to have a good game. And we would win more games if he doesn't get in foul trouble, because that's how dangerous he is on the court, his second jump. But sometimes he needs to realize when to play straight hands up fundamental defense and not commit fouls. But yes, maybe he could add a 15-footer or just nice little bank shot in his arsenal. But not a lot of players have touch like that. But a hook shot, get better in the post. You gain that 10 pounds of muscle. How is it going to translate to the game? But we'll see what Kenny Payne does, Johnny Bryant, Tom Thibodeau, Mike Woodson, if he adds a hook shot to his arsenal. Because if he demands a lot of money, which hopefully he doesn't, coming up on a contract year, I'm not going to give a lot of money to a guy. Yes, he is athletically gifted. He could block shots and guard the perimeter. I'm not going to give a guy in today's NBA a lot of money that can't stretch the floor. You know what I'm saying? If like Evan Mobley's best player available and we move on from Mitchell Robinson, I'm okay with taking him, because I would rather give a guy that has potential stretching the floor money. I'm not going to say Mitchell Robinson isn't special, but it's really rare when you do need a center consistently guarding outside on the perimeter. That's an extra thing to have. Nerlens Noel, he may not be as talented and as athletically gifted, even though he is an athletic freak. He still could, like, bring shot blocking to the table. He's good in the pick and roll. He's an athletic player as well. But his game's more mature and he doesn't get in as much foul trouble, even though he's a career backup. I'm not saying he's going to be your starter. But Mitchell Robinson may thrive if he matures his game. It all comes down to how bad he wants to be great. Some people have questions about his maturity. What do you think would be a good deal for Buddy Hield? I hear about Frank and Randle. Buddy Hield, though, he brings some locker room problems. Apparently, he's never satisfied and happy, but he's a good player. For real, it all comes down to his personality. Can he fit in New York with that? Randle isn't a bad player. He just isn't right for the Knicks and the role he's put in. He's not a number 1 option. Got to put him down low on the block. I think Knox can surprise. I'll be happy with that. I want Knox to surprise. Scalaby Sierra, I think he's going to be a Westchester Knick guy, but he could definitely stretch the floor. Don't get me wrong. He hit that game winner on us. 20 and 42. That's possible. I don't think we're going to be great. Yo, what's going on, MH? Thanks so much for being here. Yeah, we have like nearly 100 people in here. Thank you guys so much for being here. We have 108. Thanks so much for being here, guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are fantastic. You guys are amazing. Yeah, MH is a great guy. MH, I don't know if he's going to make videos. I think he talked about ideas of making videos sometimes, but he used to make videos, doesn't make videos anymore. But MH is my boy. So make sure you always show love to MH and say what's up when he does join the streams. George says, keep Randle and playing with Obi, or did I say keep George? Your name's George. Keep Randle and playing with Obi and Robinson. They'll be hard to stop. I wouldn't be surprised. He's going to put the best talented roster out there or lineup out there to be successful. They got to send Knox overseas. Yeah, a lot of people are not fans of Knox. I don't agree with this, but I respect your opinion. We should start Franker quickly and Obi instead of Payton and Randle. That's interesting. It's interesting insight. I think Quickly's not a true point guard. His playmaking is not the greatest. He's not the fastest of guys. Kind of like a Frank, but a better shooter, in my opinion. You hate Kevin Knox? Yeah, I'll tell you what Kevin Knox. A lot of people thought Kevin Knox was going to be this good player after the Summer League, and he dropped like 31 points on the Sixers. But the Knicks are the only team to give someone 30-plus minutes and then 15 minutes the following season. You can't expect to give a puppy dog who was drafted at 18 years old, oldest time in the world, but he didn't have to look over his shoulder to 30 minutes per game. I get it. He struggles defensively. He's not making open shots. But when we drafted him, he was expected to be this project type of player that he had potential from downtown. had the physical profile. But it all comes down to his confidence. Is he strong enough to play in New York? Is he mentally tough enough? But yes, he does need to work on his game. But I do think our patience went away because of what he showed early on. And New York fans were not patient, but it's really possible he may be a bust. He might, Alvin. He might start. We'll see what happens. I think Tom Thibodeau does like him. Knox, Frank, and RJ going to look nice together. We'll see, man. It's going to be really interesting. How are you doing, man? I hope you're doing well. But a lot of people hate Knox. You're not the only one. Yeah, I appreciate you being here, Michael. Michael's a great supporter. Make sure you sub up Michael. If you haven't already, sub up Michael. Big time Hawks fan. Very loyal over there. Thanks so much for being here. Video idea. Do 5 mock trades that the Knicks should do. That's a good video idea. Let me screenshot that video idea. That's a good video idea. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Knox and RJ going to kill. Yeah, I'm hoping for Knox to have a breakout year too. He has talent, but is he mentally tough enough? How bad does he want to be great? This is the same guy that got drafted with a Fortnite jacket. If you can't trade Randle, just release him. He's stunts are a young player. Yeah, man. Killing. Oh, we have a Pistons fan in the chat. That's awesome. What's going on? He's Piston Mike. I wanted Killing Hayes. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a pretty big Killing Hayes fan. I think he has a lot of potential to his game. High scoring upside, can be one of the best scoring guards in the league if he puts in the work. And he's solid defensively. He's a good playmaker. Makes pinpoint accurate passes. Just like when he's moving, it's insane watching him play. Yeah, I talked about Killing Hayes earlier. Reggie says, I think we use Frankie, DSJ, and Payne and all the time to keep speed up. We have young and athletic. I think we're going to play fast as well. But yeah, Detroit now. Shout out to the Detroit Pistons fans in the house. Thanks so much for being here. You guys are amazing. Firestone, how are you? Jeffrey's in the house. Okay. Killing Hayes will be the next Emmanuel Mudiay. I don't think so. That would suck. All right, so since everyone was talking about Julius Randle, this was going to be a question. Will this game show Randle's role on the team, Julius Randle's, if he starts or comes off the bench? And I think it's going to be the same thing either way. Did the coaching staff tell them, Teddy Payne, Johnny Bryant, Mike Woodson, Tom Thibodeau, Greer, did they put him on the block type of role? Did they put the ball in his hands and let him get to work still? When he grabs a rebound, when he comes in the game, or if he starts, is he going to grab the rebound and dribble up the ball and try to play make with his handle? He doesn't have the tightest of handle in the world, but we need to put him on the block. Will this game show Randle's role on the team if he's still dribbling the basketball up, not giving up to the point guard, and just trying to get out and run? I get it. He wants to try to get bucket. But will they put him on the block? What will his role be? Let's see. Knox more focused on getting Fortnite dubs. Piston fan here. Hayes was a steal. I'm a big fan of Hayes. I like Hayes a lot. Piston fan. We have Piston fans in here. That's freaking awesome. Like, let's take time to appreciate Piston fans. Like, shout out to you guys. You guys are a really loyal fan base. But a lot of people are saying no. Did I see the Knicks media? Like the interviews? Yeah. Randle point forward. First game, no. Fourth game, maybe. Yup, New York Knicks, no matter what. Are they letting fans back in the Garden? No, they are not. Not yet. Yeah, Obi Toppin, like Entertainment Talking Sports said. Obi Toppin and then Julius Randle. Score, in my opinion. Who win? YBW? Who do you have winning? All right, Mac Daddy Hotline. That name. Who do you want the Knicks to draft originally, and what was your reaction? All right, I did not want Obi Toppin in trading up situation. In a trading up scenario, I did not want Obi Toppin. When you're a rebuilding team, you don't want to give up future assets, especially in a draft that's not very deep whatsoever. I wanted Devin Vassell. I wanted that instant impact guy because I wanted Mikal Bridges in the 2018 NBA draft, and we did go on to select Kevin Knox. I wanted Mikal Bridges or Miles Bridges. Those were my guys, one of the Bridges guys. I just wanted that instant impact safe guy. But then when Obi Toppin slipped there at 8, I was like, okay, I don't mind this. That's good value. You could not like Obi Toppin all you want, but he's projected a top 5 to top 6 pick, and we got him 8th overall. Everyone making these power forward jokes don't know basketball. Taj Gibson's gone. Bobby Portis is gone. All these power forwards are off the roster, so people are still going to make these jokes no matter what because they don't know basketball and they're also casuals. But did I want him at 8? No. Did I want him at 8? I didn't mind him at 8 whatsoever. Did I want to trade up? No, because I don't want to give up future assets. But he's potential from beyond the arc. The problem has always been drafting these project type of guys like a Knox, like a Frank Ntilikina. And we went in a different direction of getting the best player on the board and also an instant impact type of basketball player. And we needed that for sure. And I wasn't mad at it, but I wanted Devin Vassell. We have another Piston fan in the house. How you doing, man? You can rewind. I did talk about like the key matchups. I talked about Killing A's, a little about Suku Demboya, and just everything like that for sure. It's been bad being Pistons and Knicks fans. We gotta stick. Yeah, we gotta stick together, man. No matter what, we're loyal. No one's talking about how the first high school team that he had the whole starting lineup in the NBA. Are you talking about Chino Hills? Do you think Quickly will start as the season goes on? When the season goes on, maybe. Do I think he's a true point guard? No. Do I want him to be? Yes, because we need a point guard. Yeah, I agree. He was the best player available. He'll be good for you guys, I hope. We need someone to be good for us. We need talent. We're not a team that's ready to be drafted for needs. We need best talent available. Toppin isn't a project. I agree. He's not a project. He's 22 years old. He's going to be 23 in March. He's an instant impact guy. He's going to be a scoring machine if he could develop his defense. Yeah, sometimes in guard 2 out on pick and rolls, he can be caught flat-footed. That's why I don't want him at that's why I don't want him at the 3. The defense scares me. If he couldn't guard collegiate 4s, what makes you think he's going to guard collegiate 3s? Hopefully he does not start at the 3, y'all. Chris Sims is in the house. How you doing? Isn't that Phil Sims' son? Randle, DSJ, and Knox for Buddy Hield and Harrison Barnes in a pick. Well, I'll sign up for that right now. But Buddy Hield, again, apparently he does have this personality of he's never satisfied and he's never happy wherever he goes. Thoughts on Frank Ntilikina and Willie Panout? A lot of people look at Frank as a 1. Some people look at him as a 2. Frank Ntilikina, of course, we drafted for the triangle. He brings some things defensively, but he is very frustrating offensively. He's not decisive. He hesitates, doesn't have great confidence. His jump shot's not consistent, doesn't get to the charity stripe, doesn't finish great at the basket. He picks up his dribble too early when he crosses half court as well, and that can really frustrate players, and his handle's not the greatest. I think he's going to be a good role player at best. Would I be patient with Frank? Yes, because I do want to change that narrative of we can't develop players. But we'll see what goes on to happen if we focus on Dennis Smith Jr., if we focus on Frank Ntilikina, of who's going to be our point guard. But I think he can be still a quality player with his defense and playmaking. He's good in the pick and roll. I don't think Quickly's a point guard either. He's listed as a point guard, but he's not a true point guard. Toppin's, yeah, but no matter how bad we are, we never have problems selling tickets, you know? We never had that problem. We got some we have Blake Griffin fans in the house. Obi Toppin, yeah, he's a baller. He's no nonsense guy, and I like that. New York fans definitely like that. I think he's a power forward as well. Well, I'm a Blazers fan. Okay, you're a Blazers fan. Cole Anthony, I really did get that. I liked Cole Anthony. I wasn't a big fan of Cole Anthony at first, but then I really looked at his game, how he had nothing surrounding him at North Carolina. 8, maybe I wouldn't have been happy at 8, but I wouldn't have minded him at 8. We need a point guard. He's a tough shot maker, good ball handling ability. And one of the best point guards in the NBA. Tough shot makers, and they have a really good handle. Ben Simmons is the only tall, good point guard. If you take a look at Westbrook, he's 6'3". Damian Lillard, 6'3". Stephen Curry, 6'3". Kemba Walker, 6'3". Best point guards, the majority of them are 6'3", if you think about it. But then there's Ben Simmons. But he's like a special breed of a playmaker in his handle. But yeah, I get the Cole Anthony thing. He's a bulldog. He's not the greatest on defense, but he works his ass off on defense. Go Knicks. What's going on, Lauren? Hope you're doing well. We got to save money. Well, I guess we don't want to rush the process. Do I think we're going to get a top free agent one day? No, we're going to have to build throughout the draft. We have to kind of do what the Hawks did. What inspired you to be a Knicks fan? Well, I actually was born in Atlanta, Georgia. And you guys are probably wondering, what the heck? Why are you not a Hawks fan? Well, my dad was born in Manhattan, New York, and I grew up watching the Knicks, Giants, and Yankees with him. And it's been connected to the Knicks no matter how bad we are. Something's telling me Quickly's going to be the starting 2 guard at some point this year. Yeah, hopefully Dolan's gone. What's going on? How are you? Packed chat. Go Knicks. Yeah, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. I think I've seen you in Bad Dogs chat and entertain us. And I think I follow you on Instagram. What's up, man? How you doing? Blake sucks. I don't think he sucks. He just doesn't fit your timeline. He's older, he's getting paid a lot of money. Before he got hurt, he actually matured his game from downtown. But you're a Pistons fan, you know more than me. But you have an interesting feature of Killing Hayes, Suka Boy. Luke Kennard, were you mad when you moved off from Luke Kennard? I know he had some injury history. But some Pistons fans didn't like what they got back for him. What are your thoughts on the Knicks offseason? We didn't rush the process for once. We didn't throw out money to throw out money. Throw out a lot of money for like solid guys. I was actually pretty satisfied with what we did. Yes, we didn't get a big name, but we didn't rush the process for once. We didn't rush the process. Like, why? Like, I can't speak English right now. I have a slur. We didn't rush the process. We built throughout the draft. We just filled in our roster, and hopefully we're not eyeing like a big-time free agent, and we're actually going to build throughout the draft and build this team the right way. We'll see what happens. I think the Hawks is a good model for a team, and just could we change the narrative? Could we finally develop talent? Yeah, Stan Van Gundy, he had a lot of control. Frank just has defense. Yeah, he has to mature his game a lot. Yo, Michael, thank you so much, man. You did not have to do that. Thank you so much for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. I appreciate your support a lot. I really do appreciate it, man. I believe I've seen you comment on videos, and thank you so much. He says, dope channel. Keep up the good work. Well, I appreciate that so much. I try to put in as much work as I can for you guys. You guys are so loyal, and you guys always leave great comments, and some Knicks fans aren't always going to agree with me, but at the end of the day, we're all supporting the Knicks. We're hoping for the best for the Knicks, and we just want them to be good. That's all we want at the end of the day, and you guys are very loyal, and I appreciate you guys. But thank you so much. Obi and Blake will play similar style, I think. We'll see what happens. Suku, I think he definitely has the physical tools. I didn't like the way they used him, though. Like in spot-up situations, I would have used him more cutting to the basket. But he did have a nice stretch of games. I remember the Celtics game I watched. What Frankie Nichols is the ultimate backup point guard. If you had a lead guard and want to give your starting point guard a rest and maintain the lead, what backup point guard would you put it over Frank Ntilikina? I don't think I would put a point guard over Frank Ntilikina when it comes to a backup because I think Alfred Payton will start. Dennis Smith Jr. is too risky, not consistent enough defensively, and his offensive game is off. He's not a great basketball player. But why did Pistons make all them trades for Those are really interesting. Jeremy Grant was an interesting move. I like Jeremy Grant, the energy he brings, but he's not a guy that's really going to perform great off the dribble. He's good at moving without the ball, but I get why they had to give him the money. He wanted a bigger role, apparently. That's a smaller market basketball team, and he came off of a good year. But I think he's definitely a guy that does the little things. He's going to bring value to that team, don't get me wrong. I just thought it was an interesting move, and then the Mason Plumlee move. Blake doesn't suck. He just got injured. If he never got injured, that's a different story. There you go. I was mad when they signed him. He was overrated to me and washed up at that point like all the players. Yeah, hopefully you guys are able to get that contract off the book. I have a lot of respect for Derrick Rose, but he's not a part of your future as well. No dog. I thought the Knicks were better. I thought we just won the championship. We didn't win a championship since like 1970 or 73 or anything, right? I thought we were good. I really thought we were good. It really hurt my feelings. Let's go Knicks. How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Favorite Knick of all time? Favorite Knick of all time. Even though Iman Shumpert was not flashy, I always respected Iman Shumpert. I almost cried when he got hurt. But I just respected the defense. He brought his athleticism, put back dunk against the Pacers. My favorite Knick of all time. But my dad always talked about Charles Oakley. That was my dad's all-time favorite Knick. He just played hard all the time. No nonsense. And I respect those types of guys. But probably my favorite Knick of all time. I don't know what it was. I loved watching Iman Shumpert play, the intensity he played with. But I always respected Carmelo because he did something no one else really did. When it came to representing New York and just trying to win here. Since Patrick Ewing. Allen Houston, didn't get to see him play too young, but H2O, pure shot. But yeah, Patrick Ewing, you could always say, but I didn't get to see Ewing play. But my dad always talked about the 90s Knicks and John Starks and everything. Favorite nickel of all time, Melo. Yeah, that's a very common answer. Yeah, exactly, Reggie. Yeah, I thought the Knicks were better than that. Is LiAngelo playing? I know his contract's not guaranteed. Bernard King was a great scorer. I remember he dropped 60. I know I didn't see it. I remember. Yeah, I remember. When he dropped 60 against the Nets on Christmas Day. Oh, Steve Novak, great shooter. But yeah, that was a great question, Lauren. All right, so we all love football. Thanks so much for being here. You guys are amazing. Oh, wait, I never got to that Pistons fan. That was a great comment he left. He said something about how I'm a Pistons fan, but gosh, what was it? It was a really nice comment. Glad I found your channel. I'll be here more often. Well, I appreciate that a lot, man. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And all respect to your team. Hopefully it's a good game when we play you guys. Yes, me too. Let's go to the old new Pistons, a combo of the 88, 89, 04 Pistons. Wallace, Tayshaun Prince, gosh. Guys had Isaiah Thomas back in the day, Bill Laimbeer. Those are the good days for you guys for sure. Started following NBA when Knicks was okay with Pat and Starks, and I hated them. Wait, are you a Knicks fan or no? I like the optimism. My favorite Knick of all time will be either Obi or RJ. Okay, I like it. Bad boy Pistons, yep. Dennis Rodman. All right, so let's get into the next one. What will the team style of play look like? All right, if you take a look at the roster, I'm going to share my screen once again. We all know the roster top of the head. We have Frank, RJ, Lee Toppin, Mitchell Robinson, Nerlens Noel, Dennis Smith Jr. We know the roster at the top of our head. But if you really take a look at this roster of the New York Knicks, you know this team has athleticism. But this team cannot stretch the floor. This team's not going to be a team that's just going to nail threes from downtown. We're going to struggle like last year from downtown. So I expect us to play a fast brand of basketball that just punches teams in the face, gets out and runs, and we catch teams on lapses defensively. For Payton, not a great shooter. RJ's not a great shooter yet. Obi Toppin has flashes from downtown, only attempted 33s in college, though, but he did play a role down low on the block. Julius Randle, not a consistent shooter. Mitchell Robinson's not a shooter. Frank, he hasn't gotten there yet. We don't know if he ever will be. Alec Burks, we know he's shot 40% from downtown for his career. Reggie Bullock can shoot that thing. But Nerlens Noel, not a great shooter. Austin Rivers, he'll shoot them. He has the confidence. I would say he's a solid shooter, not the greatest of efficiency. Kevin Knox, we'll see what happens with him. I do think he's a better shooter than what his percentage shows, but he just does not make open threes at times. Maurice Spellman, he showed flashes of that. We'll see if he gets playing time this season. If he makes the roster, Scala BCR. But I think this team's definitely going to have to play up and down if we want to win games. We're going to have to punch teams in the face, which I mean catch teams off guard and get out and run every single play. So this team's definitely going to have great conditioning. Knicks suck. Thought the Knicks were good. I thought they were the best team, the best dynasty, best franchise, ever. Thought we were good. Thought we were a good team. That really hurt my feelings. That really hurt. Why does DSJ suck? Don't know. Melo. LiAngelo Ball is a sneaky good pickup. He's the best shooter out of the and yeah, is the only one that has a decent looking form. Reggie says, I used to be a Pacers fan, lost interest in the NBA for years, but when Zingas joined, I started following the Knicks. His home is about 100 miles from mine, and you live in Latvia? Wow, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I got 3 RJ Prism Silver rookie cards. Put away. Hopefully he's going to – we need him to. For you now. Got to make sure you sell those for $1 million. Yeah, we need to have willing cutters. We got to move well without the basketball for sure. Yeah, we hope RJ, we hope Obi is one of these stars. We need a star. We definitely do. Who's your team, Xbox? I still think they should have drafted Tyrese. All right, Tyrese Halliburton, I thought he went to the perfect situation. I'll tell you why. Tyrese Halliburton, in my opinion, is not this lead guard, at least on a consistent basis for an NBA team. I may look stupid. You don't know. Tyrese Halliburton shot like 40% on catch and shoot threes. Great playmaker, good defensive player. At worst, he's going to be a very solid role player coming off the bench for a competing basketball team. But for a team like the Knicks, when we don't have a point guard that can consistently create their own shot, I don't think that is the type of team. He's a guy that's not great shooting off the dribble. He's more of a catch and shoot guy. He's good at cutting without the basketball. He's not this premier great athlete that could blow by guys. So going to a team like the Sacramento Kings, his fit is perfect alongside De'Aaron Fox. He's a guy with a high basketball IQ. He's more of a catch and shoot guy. De'Aaron Fox is a guy that can work downhill and take pressure off of Tyrese Halliburton of having to work downhill because he's that guy that's a very fundamentally sound player. But I just thought he went to the perfect situation to take the defensive pressure off of De'Aaron Fox. More of a catch and shoot guy. He's not great off the dribble. But yeah, I wouldn't have minded Halliburton whatsoever. But is he a true point guard? No, I don't think so. Like a lead guard. But yes, he can play some point guard, but I don't think he'll be like a starting point guard. I'm gonna have to go on like this illegal website. What's it called? Sports Surge. Oh, you're a Raptors fan? Lucky. You got to see an NBA championship. Peyton Burks, RJ, Randle, Noel. That might be it. If he thinks that's the best lineup that's going to put him in the position to win games. KP is my favorite Knick of all time. Just wish that he could have fulfilled his potential. Yeah, man. A lot of people are high on KP. That's awesome, Reggie. Good to catch another live. Washington to clinch 6th or 7th seed this season. It seems like everyone's improving in the Eastern Conference but us. Ntilikina got to go. You want to trade him, but I don't think we would get anything. Like, I would trade him at the deadline if he plays well, try to get some value out of him, Right now, I don't think his value is anything. But yeah, I appreciate you being here, Conturk. Thanks so much for being here. Bullets will make the playoff. Russ a beast. It's gonna be interesting with Dede Avdija, Bradley Beal there, Thomas Bryant, Rui Hachimura, Davis Bertans. Dede Avdija is more of a plug and play guy, but we know Westbrook's very ball dominant. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. No, I don't think Westbrook would have been the right move for the New York Knicks. Too much money, doesn't fit the timeline. He's too ball dominant. You take the ball out of RJ Barrett's, Obi Toppin's hands, and not a fan of that. Even though I respect the level of intensity and level he plays at, though. Latvian women are beautiful, very athletic. There you go. Oh, I'm prepared. I'm prepared for sure. I don't think it's going to be a great season. We might be the worst team in the NBA. I know you don't like me to. I know you don't want me to say that, but I don't think it would have been the right move for the Knicks to get Westbrook. Yes, we would have won. But yeah, we would have gave up future assets. We would have made the same mistake as the past, rushing the process. Again, this ball dominant player he's going to lead us to the playoffs, but it's going to stop the development of these other guys. I just don't think it would have been the right move. Like, yes, it would have been box office, but we don't know when this COVID's going to be over. It's not going to result in winning basketball long term. But you have your own opinion, Any thoughts on Harden wanting out to Philly? It might happen. It might not. I honestly kind of think it would be, I don't know. They're an interesting team, the Sixers. Thoughts on Giannis and the contract situation? Yeah, I heard he's not thinking about the contract, but that was a smart answer. What else is he going to say? Yeah, I'm going to sign the contract. Maybe you could have said I'm planning on staying here. I don't know. I agree. We need a point guard ASAP. If it's Jalen Suggs, we're not getting Cade Cunningham, though. What's going on, Alex? How are you? Russell Trashbrook, I'm saying. Westbrook's a great player, but again, his contract's big. He'll stop the development of other guys. We'll have to give up future assets. We're rushing the process. You don't make that move. We actually look like we're moving in the right direction of building throughout the young core, not going out there trying to splurge a bunch of money on one guy. Trust me. Trust the process. I know a lot of people are going to be like, The Knicks have sucked for so long. We've never built this team the right way. How can you tell me to calm down? Or like, we've been rebuilding forever. Like, we've never been rebuilding forever. We never rebuilt this team the right way. I don't think Frank's going anywhere either. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Norman is a fan favorite here, and Norman Powell. Yeah, he can shoot that thing. He's a good athlete. Yeah, I like Norman Powell. I really do like him. All right, so the final question is, who will win? You guys have the Detroit Pistons or the New York Knicks winning this game? Yeah, people think of it's just Westbrook. They don't look at the full picture of what could happen. They don't look at the full picture. Like, do you want to, like, win a championship long term, or do you just want to go to the playoffs and compete? Like, oh, Irish, you came in at the worst time. Talking about Westbrook. But yeah, trading for Westbrook wouldn't have been a good move. Westbrook's still really talented. I love the high intensity he plays with. But he's not a guy that's ever going to win an NBA championship, if we're being real. At least until he matures the game, which he hasn't. He never has yet. So what makes you think he's going to do it now? See, I don't want to go after a big guy. I want to build throughout the draft and do what the Hawks did. The Hawks built throughout the draft, got these young pieces, and then they brought in these very solid guys that are either going to bring depth or start and bring a winning culture. Oh, it's okay with that. It's okay if you have Detroit winning. I think it's going to be closer than people think. It depends if Derrick Rose or Blake Griffin start. Knox is a decent player. Yeah, a lot of people expected high things from him right off the bat. I think the summer league really hurt him. Yeah, I agree. Westbrook's a fantastic player, but for the Knicks, no. I think the Wizards was a more perfect situation. We don't have an other developed guy. RJ's not developed. Mitchell Robinson's not a developed star. We'll be rushing the process, has a big contract. He'll take the ball out of RJ Barrett and Mitchell Robinson's hands. We'll go to the playoffs. We'll give up future assets. It will be the same mistakes we made in the past. It just makes no sense to get Russell Westbrook. But they have a guy, Bradley Beal, one of the best shooting guards in the league, almost made the playoffs with him, averaging 30 points per game with nothing around him. So their mindset was, we're going to try to win with this guy. We're going to try to win with this guy because he did all this, and we're going to make sure we give him help. Yeah, this is an important draft. I hope the Mavericks are underachieve so then we can trade up with that pick or whatever we do. Just come out of this draft to the point guard. Need a damn point guard. Westbrook is great, but God, can you see those bricks coming to fly off? Yeah, and this team already can't space the floor. Who's your sleeper team in the East? I don't know if the Hawks are a sleeper team anymore. The Wizards, I don't think there's a sleeper team anymore. I think like we know who's going to make the playoffs and we know who's not. Like Detroit, the Knicks, the Cavs. Yeah, and we have that Mavericks pick. I know you're not a Knicks fan, but Knicks fans, we have that Mavericks pick, so get some good value out of that, and we know we're going to have a lottery pick. See, this is a draft. It's okay to not get the first pick, even though I would love Cade Cunningham, obviously. Yeah, Westbrook plays hard. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, he's going to miss the beginning of the season, and it's only a 72-game season. We'll see what happens. They did get Josh Richardson. John gets injured. Who wants a superstar? Then later gets injured the whole time. Is he a superstar anymore, though? We have an amazing defensive coach now. We need to bring 90s Knicks D back on both sides of the ball. Does that fit today's NBA, though? Of course, defense is always great, but you need to stretch the floor now. Randle's situation is really interesting. He's getting paid that money. Of course, we signed last offseason. We drafted Obi. My mindset is we need to start. Obi's 22 years old. He's going to be 23 in March. He's an instant impact basketball player. And we need to look towards the future. We can't be playing these guys that aren't going to be a part of the future, even though Alfred Payne we might start, because at least we know what he's going to bring. He brings some consistent style of play, of playmaking and penetrating and just really facilitating and finding the open guys. You don't know what Frank's going to bring every night. You really don't know what Frank's going to bring. He's going to bring defense, but he picks up the ball too early in the half-court setting. Shot is inconsistent. Ball handling ability, finishing at the basket, being aggressive. You don't know what he's going to bring. He's going to try to dunk up Porzingis, and then a game later, he shoots like 2 shots a game. Dennis Smith Jr., you don't know what he's going to bring. Everyone's talking about his jump shot. But is it going to translate to the damn court? Finally, can we see that happen? Reggie. With Mitch and Noel, we have two of the best rim protectors in the game. They're definitely good rim protectors, Sonny. How many games do you think the Nets will win? Okay, it's a 72-game season. Maybe they'll win like 47, 48. They could win 50. They're a really talented basketball team. You guys do have depth. I don't think you guys are trained for James Harden. You're not that smart. You brought back Joe Harris on the deal. I like your depth of Karis LeVert. I do think Jared Allen's a very underrated player for you guys. You still have Spencer Dinwiddie there. You have Joe Harris, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. See what goes on to happen. I thought that was an underrated trade, trading for Landry Shamet to space the floor. It's going to be interesting to see what Steve Nash's philosophy is and what the playbook's going to look like. I think Mike D'Antoni is definitely going to help out with that, though, for sure. But, yeah, these guys still need to mesh as a team. Blake Griffin is healthy for now. Yeah, and he was playing good before he got hurt. We'll see what happens. I think in the 40s. Yeah, but that was like the show of breaking down everything. Now we're just going to have a Q&A of broad NBA/Knicks. So just thank you guys so much for being here. We've been live for an hour and 11 minutes. Appreciate that super chat earlier. You did not have to do that. Thank you so much. Out of 100%, what percentage do you think that the Lakers will win the chip? Wait, out of 100%, how much percent do you think the Lakers will win the chip? Appreciate being here. Like 80 to 90%. I think they're the favorites with the depth they brought in for sure. Oh, no. They came out and said it's going to be a 72-game season. King Joe. We don't have a scoring point guard nor a scoring center, the most crucial positions. Exactly. That's why I wouldn't mind if we go on to draft an Evan Mobley if he's best player available and then get a point guard at, the 22nd pick, whatever the Mavericks pick is. Because Evan Mobley, I really like that kid. He can stretch the floor, he can block shots. He's really nimble. He's good in the post. Mitchell Robinson, as good as he is guarding the perimeter, he hasn't proven he could be a starter yet. Everyone's talking about he's our locked-in starter. Mitchell Robinson's so talented, and everyone's talking about this is such a small part of the game. But you know when Mitch is going to have a good game. You know when he's going to have a bad game. He gets into foul trouble so consistently. Doesn't have a post move he's memorized. Not great in the post. Doesn't have a jump shot in his arsenal. If he demands a lot of money, I'm not giving money to a guy that's kind of a old traditional type of big man. He can block shots, don't get me wrong, and guard the perimeter. And he's athletic, but I would way rather give a contract to a guy at the center position that can shoot the three ball. But I'd be mad at Mitch moving forward? No. Do I think he's fantastic? No, he still has to prove some things and mature his game. We'll see how bad he really wants to be good. But yeah, I agree with you, Jose. Do you think LaMelo will have a good impact on the Hornets? Long term, I don't think it'll be great right off the bat. I think his playmaking will be, but still needs to mature his game, shoots early in the shot clock, and that type of thing. Marcus says, trade Mitch, great value. Could probably fleece trade someone. Yeah, if there's a good deal, I'll trade Mitch. If we can get another pick out of Mitch, would not mind that. Knicks should sign Corey Joseph. We already have so many guards. We have Miles Powell. We have Alfred Payton. We have Frank Ntilikina. We have Austin Rivers. Quickly's listed as a guard. Jared Harper. So many guards. Zion's not in this draft. Zion already was drafted. I want Cade Cunningham, yeah, but we have to get the first overall pick first. Yeah, I think JaVale McGee went to the Cavs, I believe, T. Yeah, again, guys, thanks so much for being here. You guys are amazing. Appreciate your support. Thank you so much. But yeah, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to be on StreamYard. I know it's a 20-hour, combined hours, then your free trial's over. So we'll see if I want to pay for this or not. Push Frank to the WNBA. Sonny says, Mitch could be a perennial all-star. Yes, we'll see what happens. I think Mobley's insane. At a 7-game series, Bucks or Nets, give me the Nets. Give me someone that you could put the ball in their hands and create a shot off the dribble and just get a straight-on bucket. Giannis struggles in the half-court setting in the playoffs. That's where the game slows down. But yeah, give me Give me the Nets. Well, I'm not going. But I just don't know how much longer I can stream on StreamYard because it's like a 20-hour limit, and I don't know if I've streamed 20 hours combined. But I'm not going. Oh, I would have took that in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? I don't think Mitch is that value though for the second pick in the draft. But yeah, they did need a center, so I wouldn't have minded that. Katie will choke Kyrie out with 20 games. How good is LiAngelo Ball? He's not great. He's not good. Maybe he's going to be a solid shooter, but he's not anything special. He gets hyped up because of the Ball family. Oh, you're a Lions fan? Got you. I was wondering what that was. 4, I think. Knicks have 4. We play the Cavs twice and the Pistons twice. Do you think the Nets will have the same problem as the Clippers where it's a great team but no team chemistry? Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see if Steve Nash has the right rotations and Mike D'Antoni if he corrects anything. But at the end of the day, you do have talent. Doesn't mean anything. Got to make sure you have the right coaches. For the Knicks, that's a really good question. Or the broad NBA. Obviously, Kevin Durant's probably number 1 there. Yeah, a lot of people are a fan of the Lonzo thing, but I don't know if he'd survive in New York. I think he's pretty soft, but I get the playmaking and how much fun he'd be able to watch. How much fun he would be to watch, but he struggles on the free throw line, inconsistent from downtown, can't finish right at the basket, but he's a good playmaker and play defense, I guess. Yeah, the Lions, they've been pretty good lately. Yeah, it all comes down to how bad he wants to be great. Like broad NBA or the Knicks? T. Yeah, I said Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's number 1 in my opinion. Mitchell Robinson's copy-paste version of DeAndre. Yeah, they're rollers to the basket, even though I think Mitch is more athletic. Well, don't get me wrong, DeAndre Jordan's athletic, but I mean like a different way, being able to guard the perimeter and just Mitchell Robinson runs faster than a DeAndre Jordan. Oh, yeah, he's better than KP. KP couldn't guard the perimeter. He was just a shot blocker. Just because you're a shot blocker doesn't mean you're a great defensive player. Did he get extended? I thought he just declined a comment about the contract. Be a whole NBA. Kevin Durant, I think Karis LeVert will have a good role in the Nets. I hope for John Wall to have a good comeback. Kevin Durant is a scoring machine. You could say he's the most versatile scorer at 7 foot. I don't care. I mean 7 foot. Off the dribble, catch and shoot, clutch situations. He's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Hope KD will have an MVP season. Yeah, that'd be unbelievable. I never got the Knicks fans' hate on the Nets. I never got it. They're not a rival. They've never been a rival. Yeah, I think they should. This upcoming draft is really stacked. Draco said, well, you had me thinking the game was tonight. No, it's Friday. It's soon, though. It is soon. It is, man. How are you, man? He's very quick on the defense side of the basketball. His ability to close out on the perimeter. Yeah, he's definitely not the tallest compared to a guy like Mitch. He'll definitely play a higher role, I'll say that. Depends if Killian and Sugu get an opportunity this season. Jeremy Grant went there for a bigger role in the money. I think Jeremy Grant's a little like a guy that does the little things and moves well without the basketball. I don't think he's a guy that's great at creating on his own. But I get why they gave him that money because they are a smaller market, and he did come off of a very solid season. But I don't know if that was the right signing, especially when you have young pups like Suku and Killian. MVP this season? Yeah, Luka. I don't know if I wasn't gonna say Luka as a breakout because to me he's already broken out. I mean, it's so good. Top notch. How are you, T? Top notch, T. How are you? Salute. Hope we're better than last season. Yeah, I think our improvement's going to look a lot different because we do have a younger basketball team. So I think we're going to start off very shaky, but then we're going to learn how to win. These young guys are going to learn. I think that's the main thing. I think next season is the season we get to judge the Knicks. Like, we seriously get to judge the Knicks. If the Knicks aren't competitive for the 8th seed next season, that's when it's time to panic, or the season after. We have to see what happens in the offseason, but that's when it's time to panic. Because that's when RJ should be making the main leap, and Mitch should too. And Obi, he's going to be in his prime next year. What's your starting lineup and bench lineup? All right, so what I think realistically going to happen from one Knicks fan to another, I like that username, always did. Alfred Payne, like I said, Frank Ntilikina, people love Frank. People love Dennis Smith Jr. of what they can be, but we know what Alfred Payne is. Even though he can't shoot, he brings something every single night, and that's facilitating. He's a good passer, and he also gets after on defense. I think it will be Alec Burks. I think they're really going to respect Alec Burks' ability to play defense and knock down shots at a 40% clip from downtown. We need shooting in that lineup to take pressure off of RJ. Then you have RJ. He's going to be playing the 3. He's more of a bully dog type of player, bully ball type of player that's not the great from downtown, but you hope he improves. Then I'm going to have Obi, and then I'm going to have Mitchell Robinson. And off the bench, I'm going to have Dennis Smith Jr. I really hope Dennis Smith Jr. starts, so that'd be interesting. Dennis Smith Jr., that's really tough. If Quickly comes off the bench as a 2, I'd be happy with that. Knox, Randle at the 4. We don't know. It's going to be interesting. Most improved players, Fred VanVleet. I think the next game's going to be long. I think they're going to be fun to watch. I don't think we're going to win a lot, but I think they are going to be fun to watch. You think Harden and Kawhi are going to Brooklyn next year? We'll see. I appreciate that a lot, man. I really do appreciate that. If you haven't already, sub up Valex. I'm sorry for pronouncing your name wrong, but sub him up. He makes videos. I will do that. You know what? If I can, if my hours didn't run out and expire, I will do my thoughts on the game afterwards. I just answered this, but what I realistically think is going to happen, I think Alfred Payne will start because I do think he puts us in the best position to win games, even though he can't shoot the ball to save his life. You know what you're getting with him every single night. He's a guy that can facilitate, play defense, put pressure on the defense, and attack the basket. Then I think we're going to have Alec Burks. We need someone that can stretch the floor. He shot 40% from downtown for his career, could play solid defense, could get to the basket. It was great with Golden State, was good with Philly in the postseason, and just when he joined there. We're going to have RJ Barrett. They're going to look at him as more of a bully ball type of guy for sure that can get to the basket. Until his shot improves, we'll see what happens with his jump shot. Hope to see RJ get better defensively, but I think Alec Burks is going to take pressure off of him because he could shoot the rock. I really hope Obi starts. He's 22 years old. He's going to be 23 in March. He's supposed to be this instant impact basketball player, and that's been a problem. We had Knox. We had Frank Ntilikina. Not going to say RJ was a project, but he was definitely taken for his upside, and Obi's an instant impact guy. So we'll see what happens with that. And then I have Mitchell Robinson. But I think it might be closer than people think when Nerlens Noel and Mitchell Robinson. If we're looking towards the future, we'll start Mitchell Robinson. But a lot of people are just like in love with Mitchell Robinson. They think he's going to be the future right off the bat when there's still some things in his game I'm not sold on. He's an athletic freak. He can guard the perimeter. He can block shots. But has he proven to stay out of foul trouble? No, on a consistent basis. You're not going to be a starter if you can't consistently stay out of foul trouble. He's like 2 fouls early on. You know he's not going to have a great game. But when he does stay out of foul trouble, he's good games. That's the scary, awesome thing about him. But he has to realize he's not going to block every single shot. He has to realize when to play straight hands up fundamental defense. Doesn't have a post move in his arsenal. Doesn't have a great jump shot. But Nerlens Noel, don't be surprised if we start him because he may have the more mature game and he knows his strengths. He knows what he's good at. I'm not saying Mitch doesn't, but Mitch tries to block everything. And I think Noel has a more polished, mature game. But if Mitch matures his game, I think he can be a good player. And he has a contract year coming up. Mitchell Robinson, I don't know if he's going to demand a lot of money or he's going to want to be out of New York. But I will let Mitchell Robinson go if he makes the same mistakes and he doesn't really add anything to his arsenal, like a post move. Because there's a guy like Evan Mobley you could take who has more to his game. I'd rather give a contract to. But no, Mitch is a part of this future. But that's thinking outside the box. What's going on, Steven? How are you? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, that schedule's brutal. Well, actually, take a look at it right now. Clutch, what's going on? First time catching your live stream. Keep grinding. I feel like Obi versus Griffin is going to be a battle. I talked about that earlier. I want Obi to start in this game. I want to see how he can do defensively up against Blake, because Blake actually matured his game and really stretched outside the three-point line before he got hurt. He's a guy that's still a good athlete. He's not what he used to be with the Clippers, but he's still a good athlete, and I think that's going to be a good battle and a good test for Obi Toppin. And I hope Blake plays in this game for sure. But thank you so much for your great amount of support. I really do appreciate that. I really do. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. With Obi, Mitch, Noel, we could be Lob City. Does that equal winning basketball, though? Does it equal winning basketball? Shout out to the 100 people in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are amazing. Obi failed 6th grade twice. Well, hopefully he's just good at basketball. What's going on, Big Stepper? Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, a lot of people think it's not a big thing. You're not going to be a starter if you can't consistently stay out of foul trouble. You're not. Nerlens plays weak. Trust me. Oh, yeah. I don't think he's our starter of the future, but I wouldn't be surprised if we start him because he's a more mature game. But, yeah, I don't think he's, like, a mentally tough player or anything. Yeah. Stacy Hickman, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. We'll see what happens. He said he's going to shoot them, but Tom Thibodeau allow him to say that? Is he going to let him shoot it? What's going on, Marcus? Thanks so much for being here. How are you? Frank, RJ, Knox, Obi, Noel. Daniel says, I think Frank, RJ, Knox, Obi, and Mitch. I don't like Obi at the 3. I know in high school we played the point guard position. He could handle the basketball, and he played in a roll down low on the block more and his potential from downtown, but he's not good enough defensively. Plays too high on pick and rolls. If he couldn't guard collegiate 4s, he's not going to be great at guarding collegiate 3s. And people can't just assume Tom Thibodeau is going to coach him how to play fantastic defense. Karl Anthony Towns to become a great defender. Andrew Wiggins didn't. But it all comes down to how bad Obi Toppin wants to be great. But he can be caught flat-footed and not having the greatest of footwork on that side of the ball. RJ is an offensive threat. I wanted the Knicks to draft Hayes. Yeah, he wasn't there, though. But, yeah, we're going to take a look at the Knicks schedule, and then we're going to close it out. But, again, guys, thank you so much for being here. You guys are absolutely amazing. We're going to take a look at, like, we're not going to take a look at every single game. But we're just going to, like, run through it. That lets me scroll down. Appreciate that first. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, I think Mitch does bring that. I think Mitch does play hard. Share screen. All right, so hopefully you guys see this. Let's take a look at this Knicks schedule. We're not going to be looking at the preseason games. Start off with the Pacers. They're a good basketball team. I don't know how their new coach is going to be. They don't have any more. They don't have Nate McMillan anymore. They have Victor Oladipo. They have Malcolm Brogdon. They have Sabonis. If it's just common sense, that's supposed to be a loss. They should beat us. Sixers, they should beat us. The Sixers should beat us, in my opinion. The Bucks should beat us. Probably get a first one against the Cavs, maybe. The Raptors, that's a loss. Pacers is a loss. The Hawks, I think it's going to be competitive, but it's going to be a loss. The Jazz going to be a loss. So good defensively. And we can't stretch the floor, so that would be a disaster. The Thunder might win. They're not going to be the greatest team this year. The Nuggets, that's a loss. The Hornets, they're going to be competitive. They have Gordon Hayward, but how can LaMelo Ball orchestrate that offense his rookie year? The Nets, that's a loss. The Cavs, possible win. Celtics, loss. Magic, competitive. May win, maybe not. It's at 12 o'clock, that game? It's an earlier game. The Warriors, loss. Kings, I don't know. We got blown out by the Kings last year, and I actually think they got better with Tyrese Halliburton bringing on defense there and stretching the floor. Trailblazers, we beat them last year somehow. Jazz lost. Cavs win. Clippers lost. Bulls, maybe that's a win. I don't know. The schedule's not pretty. It is not a pretty schedule, y'all. Stop, dude. You have no idea of how players might. Yeah, on paper, this team sucks. For being real, this team sucks. But I'm just saying from like a common sense perspective of we don't know what the players are bringing. If you just take a look at the schedule, just a common sense, we're just like glancing over it. Oh, yeah, I think LaMelo's starting. Yeah, I appreciate you coming back, Julio. He's a top 3 pick. They have to start him. Yes, sir, David. Thanks so much for being here. 47 hours and 20 minutes till game time. I love that. He has a clock and everything. I like it. Tibbs will flip lineups if guys ain't giving full effort. Could we get a consistent offense for once? Or a starting lineup for once? Yeah, I agree. We're not rushing the process, but we're not going to be good this year. Yeah, how will we adjust to the NBA? All right, I've answered this question like a million times. Try to give my reasoning again. I have Elfrid Payton. Desmond Jr. is most talented, probably has the highest of upside of people like Frank. Some people think Frank's a 1, some people think Frank's a 2. But you know what Elfrid Payton is going to bring? You know he's going to bring his ability to facilitate, and he's going to bring defense. He can't shoot the basketball, but he brings something. Alec Burks, you need shooting in that lineup. Shot 40% from 3 in his NBA career. Was good with Philly. Was good with Golden State. Has experienced some winning in his NBA career. RJ is more of a bully ball type of guy, not the greatest from downtown. We'll see what happens. Obi, 22 years old, going to be 23 in March. He better start, but I won't be surprised if they don't start him because it's the Knicks. And then you have Mitchell Robinson. I had a more in-depth reasoning earlier, but that's just my thoughts right now. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Torres. Charlotte. I think Charlotte's a better team. I agree. Devontae was balling last year, but they took LaMelo Ball in the top 3. Devontae might play the 2. Might do a little small ball action. Ebenezer, thanks so much for being here. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not expecting us to be good. He is our highest paid player. That's the thing. Is he gonna have? He might have like too big of an ego and not come off the bench. But if Julius doesn't start, that says a lot about him. But yeah, I explained that earlier. Yeah, we need RJ to take that leap. Mitch, we need those guys to take big leaps if we want to make the playoffs. Yeah, I agree, man. We're in a good position for the future. We just got to keep moving that way and not rush the process. Well, Rodman's a Hall of Fame player, so we hope. Well, those teams also improved. Atlanta improved. Cleveland, they didn't really improve. Chicago, they didn't. Charlotte, Atlanta improved. So is Kevin Knox a keeper? I think he's too young to move on from, even though he was horrid last year. It's tough for anyone to get 30 minutes and then freaking 10 minutes, 15 minutes per game the following year. Spellman makes a rotation. A lot of people have questions about his diet and how bad he wants to be great. But he can shoot the ball and he's a good athlete. I'm expecting improved play. Yeah, especially RJ. We need RJ to improve. What's going on, Malik? Thanks so much for being here. Super stoked for this preseason, our regular season. I think we're going to develop an identity and win more games than the mainstream media thinks. From your lips to God's ears, as Entertainer Talking Sports says. Yeah, I agree. Atlanta will be better. Thibodeau is like Dennis Smith Jr. I think our record's not going to dictate how good we are. I think we are definitely going to compete, which just all comes down to learning how to close out games. Yeah, I agree. He's a good athlete. I liked him at Villanova. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am going to end the stream. I've been live for an hour and 34 minutes. Again, thank you so much to the guy that did donate. I appreciate your support like crazy. You guys are absolutely amazing. I appreciate your support. You guys are so loyal. We had 111 people in here at one point. You guys are just absolutely amazing. And I can't wait for Knicks basketball on Friday. I'm more excited for the preseason than the regular season because we might actually have a record at 500, over 500 in the preseason. But yeah, thank you guys so much for a great amount of sports vibes. Actually, sports vibes. I love your channel, man. I watch your channel a lot. You make some Knicks content on there, high quality content. Make sure you check out Sports Vibes TV. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. More Spellman should be cut. Yeah, Jacob Evans, I expect to be cut. Love you too, man. Have a good one. The East will be better overall. I agree. See you, Chris. Have a good one. Rodman is the best pound-for-pound rebounder of all time. Yeah, he knew how the ball was coming off the rim or the backboard. It was amazing if you watch The Last Dance. But, yeah, guys, as always, stay safe. You might see more live streams. You might see more videos. You don't know because my hours might run out on here. Yeah, no problem, dude. No problem. I appreciate that. Keep up grinding. I will. But I might have more streams because I have virtual because my school was shut down due to COVID. So I have virtual until January 10th. So I won't be leaving my house for a while. But until my hours run out, I will be streaming on here. And just thank you so much for the great amount of support. This channel is not possible without you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. And as always, guys, have a humble day or night. Peace out, y'all.